Kate said I work currently now in Staffordshire, but that was a recent move. And I moved 2 months ago from a System 1 practice where I had everything set up, just like Kunal was just talking about. I could do my consultations with my eyes closed. And I've moved to an EMIS practice, having never used EMIS before. It filled me with dread, but from the very first consultation, I switched the scribe on, and it's been an absolute lifesaver. And game changer, really. It's meant that I've been able to get up and running with EMIS, having no prior experience almost from day one, because the main bulk of the consultations are written for me and get put in. And actually, by looking at what it's done, it's taught me a bit about EMIS and got me up and running. So that's been that's been a real winner for me, and I'm now using it consistently on every consultation, except for the times I kick myself when I've realised halfway through I forgot to press start, which I don't think there's anything that the company can do about that to remind us, because it's blinking annoying if you do it. I've written down the word sceptical as well. I was probably a bit more sceptical of how good it would be at taking 10 minutes worth of chatter and making it into a focused, discrete set of notes. And when I was in my System 1 practice, I did a little bit of work with Tandem, so I had played around with this before. I was amazed at how much of the dross from the consultation it cleverly cuts out and doesn't fill your journal up with unnecessary stuff. How focused the extraction of the relevant clinical stuff is, and how infrequently I have to actually edit the notes before I save them. There are things you want to edit and there are things you need to check, and occasionally it mishears or the patient says something funny that you need to deal with. But it's amazing how I was, my skepticism went almost overnight. It's amazing how accurate and how sort of focused the note taking is, even as Kunal said, in a patient with multiple problems. I've noticed that when you're talking to patients, and of course I echo the same thing, you can just look at the patient and talk to them for the consultation without having to worry about the screen. That's changed the way that I consult, and has made life a lot easier. But sometimes in a consultation, when you're writing the notes at the end, there might have been a couple of trivial points that maybe just slip your memory, or that you'd forgotten about, or you'd given a touch of advice about something, but you don't document it. Scribe's been listening and picks it up, and so if there are several problems, it makes sure they all get picked out, because sometimes you come to write the notes at the end, or you get distracted and might have forgotten something. So I think that's great. I've learned to talk to it, as Miles was saying. So talking out my examination findings. The more I do that, the less I have to add in at the end. Hopeless at remembering numbers, so it's great to be able to say, "Oh, your blood pressure is 130/72," and it write that down without me needing a post-it note or having to type there and then. I noticed yesterday I'd called a chaperone through, and Scribe picked out that I'd done that, and actually picked out the name of the chaperone, because I said this is Amy who's come to chaperone me, and did all that documentation as well. That I thought was really good, and got me. And then, as we've already heard, I don't think I've dictated a referral letter in the 2 months I've been in this new practice, because I've used Scribe every single time to create my A&G referrals and my referral letters, and any of the private reports and bits like that. I've used the dictate function. I've been really impressed with that. We started using the clinical meeting setting in our clinical meetings, so there's benefits for the practice manager and admin staff as well. That's been really helpful. In terms of rolling out in the practice, because I couldn't stop talking about it, the other doctors who've been here longer than me wanted to know what this thing was I was using, even though they'd got the microphone on their toolbar. They hadn't even bothered to click on it. And after a few coffee breaks where I enthused to death, I was just like, just let me show you, just have a go. And I just did a simple demo, a bit like Miles and Kate did then. And and they're all using it now. There's been no kickback at all. So that's great. We haven't touched on the fact that it can cope with other languages as well. I've moved to a practice here that's slightly different demographic than I was used to, and although my other languages are limited, my colleagues are telling me that if they do a consultation solely in Urdu, it will still pick up and translate into English. And actually, my colleague told me the other day that her Urdu is brilliant, and she got through the consultation and actually learned some vocab from what Scribe had put into the notes afterwards, because they were the words she'd missed when she was talking to the patient in Urdu, because she didn't know those couple of bits of vocab. So education as well. But certainly with my other half, we've done a consultation in French just to practice, and it does it translates it, and it's really very clever. So that's very good. I think those are the main things. I mean, I'm here today because I've loved using it. It's really changed the way that I do my consultations, and particularly the writing up afterwards is dead quick. I don't have a list of jobs at the end of the surgery, because I've done my referral letters within the 10 minutes usually, because they're so quick to do and task over. And that definitely is a game changer. So